Hello, we are representing Baptist Sangin Higher Secondary School, Tunsang. We are presenting a traditional storytelling on the Chang folktale called Momola. So let us witness the story in detail.
Once there was a girl named Tondimola. In short, she was addressed by her loved ones as Momola. Momola was a beloved daughter in a Chang village. Her parents cherished her deeply as she was their only child. Momola grew up to be a kind, respectful, and was loved by everyone. One afternoon, Momola's mother went fishing. Some frustrating hours passed by without her catching any fish. In desperation, she shouted, "O river spirit, bless me with fish, and I in return promise to give you my daughter." As soon as she vowed this, she was miraculously blessed with a great amount of fish, which she happily took home. In her joy, she forgot all about her foolish promise made to the river spirit. She took her catch home, and her small family hugely enjoyed the repast of river fish. As night fell, Momola, content from her hearty dinner, settled into bed. She drifted into a peaceful sleep, but was soon awakened by an unexpected presence of a handsome young man who had entered into her room. She was shocked at first, but soon felt at ease because of his gentle and kind manner. His handsome appearance and warm approach made her feel comfortable, establishing a deep and immediate connection between them. From that night, the young man visited Momola regularly, arriving after dark and leaving before dawn, to avoid being seen by her family. One evening, he proposed her for marriage, and Momola, overwhelmed with love, happily accepted. Their secret meeting continued for months, but Momola grew increasingly curious about why he never appeared during the day. Unable to solve the mystery, she turned to her father for help. After listening thoughtfully, he advised, "My daughter, take a length of thread and discreetly attach it to his clothes." That night, Momola followed her father's advice. As her lover left, she carefully threaded the thread behind him, despite a few anxious moments. When he glanced back, she remained hidden and followed the thread. But their journey took them to the lake. To her surprise, her lover vanished beneath the surface and did not reappear. Momola waited anxiously for her lover to reappear. As time passed, he never surfaced. The strange disappearance left her in confusion and grief. Overwhelmed by her emotion, she rushed home and told her father what had happened. Her father, enraged and believing her suitor to be an evil spirit, vowed to confront him before Momola could intervene. He had gathered his clansmen and hurried to a lake. They searched the area thoroughly but found no sign of her lover. Instead, they discovered a dark shape lying at the bottom of the lake. This unsettling event triggered a memory in Momola's mother. She suddenly recalled her long forgotten promise to the river deity. Realizing the weight of her broken vow, she confessed to her family what she had done. Momola was shattered to learn the truth that her beloved was not a man but a spirit. That night, when he arrived as usual, her heart was heavy with sorrow. Momola told him she could not marry him. Asking him to leave, the young man's face twisted with rage at her rejection. In a fury, he threatened to take her life if she refused him. Seeing that she would not change her decision, the young man burned with rage. He stormed out, leaving Momola alone in the darkness. A few days after the young couple departed, a violent storm unleashed its fury upon the village. The rain poured and showed no sign of stopping. It poured ceaselessly, and soon the lowlands were completely under water, destroying the fields, home, and livestock. The villagers, terrified, hurriedly packed their belongings into baskets and fled into the highland to escape the flood. It made a mournful, repetitive noise, "moo, moo, moo," that echoed through the drowning village. The villagers realized that the flood was the work of the river deity, taking his revenge upon Momola's mother for not keeping her promise. They began to curse Momola's mother for having make the vow to offer her daughter in exchange for fish. Realizing that there was no other way to save their people, Momola's mother made the unbearable decision to sacrifice her daughter. She pushed Momola into the water, and immediately the flood began to recede. Once the water had returned to normal, Momola's mother searched for her. To her surprise, she found two large fish. One of them was half fish and half woman. Momola had transformed into a mermaid. The sight was both heartbreaking and glimmer of hope besides tragedy. As time passed by, Momola gave birth to a tiny fish. One day she decided to visit her family, leaving her precious little one safely tucked away in a small protected space. When she returned, her heart sank to find that the baby was missing. Desperate and scared, Momola began to ask around. To her horror, she discovered that her relatives, believing the tiny fish was the gift, had eaten it. Her joy turned into sorrow as she realized the tragic mistake that led to the loss of her beloved child. "How am I going to explain this to my partner?" said Momola. She desperately asked her relatives if they kept even a small part of the fish. To her relief, they had saved a tiny bone. Momola took the bone and transformed it into a tiny fish and returned to her underwater home with it. When her partner noticed the baby fish looking weak and tiny, he asked with concern what had happened. Momola told him that the tiny fish had become weak because her uncle was deeply hurt by her prolonged absence. The Chang believed that uncles must be kept happy and not upset, or else misfortune will befall who caused them distress. This belief led to the naming of the peculiar fish known as Mong. This fish, thought to be transformed from human, it's never eaten due to its special significance. The legend of Momola was her tragic story is cherished among the tribe of Chang. Tunsang district, a memorial stone commemorating her story still lies in Tunsang village, deriving the memory of tale for the future generations.